Traveling violation on the baseline against the Tigers.
And in the shoot-around today, Brad Brownell talked about trying to spread out South Carolina and drive the ball. Really good one-on-one defense that possession by the Gamecocks.
That win on Saturday, the 300th for head coach Brad Brownell in his career. He's got 133 as the Tiger coach. The starting lineup, same for every game this season for the Gamecocks. They are 8-2 on the season. Grab it with the jumper. Tigers come away with it. And the rebound from Mitchell. Grantham wants a three ball.
The most difficult three to defend is the one in transition.
13th made three of the season for Dante Grantham. As coach mentioned, he leads this team in scoring. 15.5 points per game for the senior from Martinsburg, West Virginia. There's his head coach, Brad Brownell, trying to get his team back to the NCAA tournament. Took him in his first year as head coach in 2011.
Well, this team has all the indicators of an NCAA tournament team. We talked to Frank Martin in the shoot-around, and he goes, this Clemson team reminds me of my team last year.
Of course, Coach Martin's team went all the way to the Final Four for the first time in school history. Played an ACC opponent on their way to that Final Four, beating Duke just up the road at Bon Secours Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. Stripped away by the Gamecocks and out of bounds, but will stay at this end of the floor. Coach Martin in his 6th season, 104 victories as the Gamecocks head coach. His 11th year overall as a head coach. He was also at Kansas State.
How about Frank Martin going a little 2-3 zone on the baseline?
Now, coach said after the win against Coastal Carolina, he would stay away from the zone. We're going to play man regardless of the result. He's decided to go to the zone of the defensive end.
On the baseline out of bounds, he feels it gives his team a better chance of protecting the basket where Clemson likes to go on those out of bounds on the baseline.
Shot clock is down to 10. Grab it, catch and release for three. Tip back out and run down as Minaya was able to get to it with a fresh shot clock.
If you're going to play South Carolina, one of the things you have to do is rebound the basketball. This is one of the better rebounding teams, offensive and defense, in the nation.
Gamecocks 0 for 4 from the floor. There'll be a foul on the play as that was Chris Silva trying to get to the rim. Shelton Mitchell picks up the foul. It's his first.
Chris Silva has been a guy that's really improved. Last year, he was just a role player, and I asked Frank at the shoot-around, like, how has this kid started to emerge? And he goes, you know what, great demeanor, really accepting a bigger role this year. We talked about in the open, 17 points, 10 rebounds in the tournament against Duke. Had 13 points, 9 rebounds in an Elite 8 win against Florida, and then 13 and 13 against Gonzaga in the national semifinal game. So really an improved player.
They changed that foul to Gabe DeVoe. It is his first. In fact, Mike Eads is at the scorer's table as Silva waits at the free throw line. Silva 72% from the stripe on the season.
The difference between this South Carolina team and last year's is the guard play. Obviously with Sindarius Thornwell, the SEC Player of the Year. Dwayne Notice, who had 10 points a game last year. PJ Dozier, nearly 14 points a game. They're needing better guard play to move forward.
So Silva gets the Gamecocks on the board.
No free ends when you play South Carolina. They deny every pass.
71-69 was the final on Saturday in the win against Florida, then number 22 in the country. Long rebound to Kotsar. In fact, the Tigers came from 12 points down in the second half to defeat the Gators, 71-69. Kotsar in the paint. Cut off and well defended by Thomas. Grab it, attacking the rim. It was blocked underneath. Grantham runs it up. Out of bounds, Tiger basketball.
Terrific help from Grantham. Tom, action's faster than reaction, so defensively you need help. Dante Grantham was there. Got to meet dribble penetration before it gets to the lane line, and that's exactly what Grantham did.
Mitchell on the inbounds. Skara has come in for the Clemson Tigers. He's got the basketball right now. Just became eligible in that game last Saturday against Florida. Shot clock is down to 8. Fouled on the three-point attempt. And Mitchell, 3 free throws coming.
Yeah, we have ball screen action right here. And when Kotsar comes up, just straight up and down, he's so long. Just make sure you're contesting shots. That's what Coach Martin's telling him, who's right in front of us, maybe 3 feet. So we'll get a good insight on the game tonight and how it's going.
Coach Martin will let you know with his reactions how he feels about the proceedings this evening in this rivalry game. Again, the 168th all-time meeting. They first met, Dino, in the 1912-1913 season. Now, there's a rumor that you were broadcasting that game, but no, come on. No, but this is
I was in diapers then, but I wasn't broadcasting.
long-standing rivalry between these two schools. Clemson got the upper hand on the football field this year against the Gamecocks, but both teams going to bowl games, and the Tigers fighting for a national championship, trying to repeat. So Mitchell to the bench area for the Tigers, who are 9-1 on the season and 5-0 in this building as the Gamecocks come in tonight. Gravitt, who hit the game-winning shot. It's tipped in. Now Gravitt hit the game winner in their last game against Coastal Carolina, but the tip-in makes it a 1-point game.
Yeah, when that shot goes up, you got to create the car crash if you're the defensive player. Make sure there's nobody who gets a hand on any of those offensive rebounds.
They credited that last basket to Silva. Skara, that's a 3.
You have multiple handlers for Clemson. Marquise Reed just goes to the point. Nice penetration, kick out to Skara, the Valparaiso transfer.
First points of the season for Skara. In just his second game, eligible for the Tigers. There's a whistle and a foul. It's against the Gamecocks. Frank Booker picks up the foul. Tigers by 4 in the first half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zales. 'Tis the season to save and sparkle more than ever. And Dos Equis. Stay thirsty. Please enjoy Dos Equis responsibly.
Coliseum, and the Tigers have an 8-4 lead here in the first half. Tom Wormy and Dino Gaudio with you here courtside. And Coach, both teams have struggled a little bit from the floor in the early going.
Tom, defense is at a premium. Clemson, the difference, 2 of 3 from behind the three-point line. Let's watch South Carolina. Turnovers have been a concern for Frank Martin.
Tigers with the basketball. See the teams combining for just 3 made field goals on those 12 attempts. Clemson as a team this season pretty good amongst the Atlantic Coast Conference. 50% from the floor as a team, 3rd best. Skara, who has already got a 3 to his credit. Grantham, the floater on the baseline.
And if you're Brad Brownell, you love the offensive possession. Multiple passes, found the open man, and I love when the ball was swung, how Grantham drove the basketball. A lot of times when you're playing South Carolina, they help so well. You have to pull up, just like Grantham did on the possession.
That pass was deflected and out of bounds to stay with the Gamecocks.
So good ball movement, and you're looking at a veteran and experienced player in Dante Grantham. Knows he couldn't get all the way to the rim, so the pull up, the floater, if you will, and the veteran hit it.
Grantham's also made a 3 in this game. Defensively underneath, it was Silva trying to make the move.
Boy, he took it right into Elijah Thomas.
First foul against Elijah Thomas.
A lot of guys, when they go inside, they try to avoid contact, not Chris Silva. Sometimes you got to create it, absorb it, and go to the foul line to try to complete either a three-point play or our guy's got 2 shots right here.
Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, the ESPN app. We'll have the DXL Frisco Bowl between Louisiana Tech and SMU. The Sonny Dykes era beginning for the Mustangs. He's got 2 outstanding receivers. He takes over for Chad Morris, who has moved on to Arkansas. Chad Morris was the former offensive coordinator here at Clemson. Skip Holtz and the Bulldogs against Sonny Dykes. Got that coming up for you. It's bowl season. It's basketball inside Littlejohn Coliseum tonight. Silva has all 6 of the South Carolina points. Mitchell.
Boy, the lefty, athletic, pushes it hard on the break. A pure point guard, which Clemson has lacked the latter few years.
First basket of the game for Mitchell, who got to double figures with 10 points in the winning effort against Florida on Saturday. Second straight SEC opponent for the Tigers. Silva spots up. Grantham had the position all the way.
Boy, Clemson really long on the front line.
Evan Hinson, number 23, defending the basketball, has come in. Grantham tries to go by him. Offensive foul is called.
How about our guy, number 23, Evan Hinson? Tight end on the football team. Redshirt freshman in football. Played behind Hayden Hurst this year, who led the SEC tight ends in receptions, receiving yards. That's a guy, talking to Will Muschamp, that could be playing on Sundays down the road. Frank Martin thinks, I'm sorry, Tom, that this guy can really help them as the season goes on.
January 1st, South Carolina plays in the Outback Bowl against Michigan in Tampa, Florida. Gamecocks went 8-4 and 5-3 in conference play on the gridiron. Skara picks it up. A couple of players go to the deck.
Yeah, Wesley Myers trying to do a little too much off the dribble. Yeah, really good help side defense. Yeah, where are you going? You're working in a crowd there. One less dribble. And if you try to split those two, your dribble has to be low, no higher than your knee as you're trying to split that ball screen.
First foul of Myers. Backdoor cut, foul on the play. Sims was going to the rim. Hinson picks up his first personal.
That's a wonderful backdoor cut. And one of the things you do against teams that are out in passing lanes and denying to soften them a little bit is make the backdoor cut. And that was a wonderful delivery on the pass.
Mark Donnell on the passing end puts Amir Sims on the free throw line, the freshman. Not a whole lot of chances from the line this season. Just his 4th make in 8 attempts from the free throw line, although Sims has seen action in 10 games this year.
Now, South Carolina played against Mark Donnell last year against Michigan, where he was 8 for 9 from the free throw line, 1 for 3 from the field, 4 offensive rebounds. In a game South Carolina won handily.
Tigers are on an 8-2 run and have their largest lead in the early going. Shot clock to 10 for Myers, has to back it out. That jumper's off the mark. Putzar tried to come over the top. South Carolina just 1 for 9 from the floor in the first half. Turnover. Beatty. Euro. Lay-in. Although the crowd here does not agree.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was a good play. And I'll tell you something. In the shoot-around today, Beatty was sensational. I don't know if he missed a shot in the shoot-around. Had an injury, missed the last game, and then with an elbow sprain, and sort of had a week off. And Frank Martin said during that time he was off, really think his confidence grew a little bit.
Evan Hinson picked up the foul for South Carolina. So Hinson's coming out
Well,
of the
let's
game.
watch this, Tom, right here. Turnover. Here comes our guy, Beatty. I'm thinking it's good.
The officials agree.
I always like the officials. What a great group we got. Mike Eads, 12 NCAA tournaments, 3 Final Fours. James Breeding, 10 NCAA tournaments, 1 Final Four. And Roy Groover, 7 NCAA tournaments.
Mitchell on the jumper. Clemson scored their last 6 times down the floor. And defending well at the other end, Coach.
And I'll tell you, it starts with their transition defense. They're always back. It's a 5-on-5 game for South Carolina.
Another miss from the corner. The follow attempt by Minaya out of bounds. And the indication is Tiger basketball. Clemson ahead of South Carolina, 15-8 in the first half. Thank you. Back here at Littlejohn Coliseum, the Tigers have hit their last 4 shot attempts. Solid at the defensive end. Just 2 makes and field goals for South Carolina.
Well, it starts with their transition defense. Clemson is back set and moving into the basketball. There's no easy fast break opportunities. And then they're really doing a good job of guarding the ball one-on-one. And for the most part, South Carolina is one and done. Clemson boxing out.
DeVoe misses. Gravitt pulls it in to the Gamecocks.
Tom, we were talking to the South Carolina assistants, and another good defensive play right there by Skara. And they said in this game last year, Clemson out-tough South Carolina. And that was the South Carolina assistants articulating that. They said they beat us at our own game.
Foul on the alley-oop attempt. Gravitt, first personal.
Yeah, you have to make sure as a point guard, grab it. Nobody, he's very fortunate, gets behind you. You're like a free safety in football. Somebody gets behind you, that's 6 points. You have to make sure nobody is below you in transition.
First foul on Gravitt.
Yeah, the redshirt junior, the transfer from Pensacola JC. Frank wanted him to be a pure point guard, and he's learning that role right now for Frank Martin.
First points for DeVoe. 12-4 run for the Tigers. Gamecocks with the basketball inside of 11 minutes to go in the first half. And it's Silva rattling that rim. DeVoe got away from a double. Skara trying to save it in the corner, bounced on the end line, and back to the Gamecocks.
Well, Tom, earlier in the game we said Silva had all 6 of their points, and then they went away from him. Keep going inside there to the big fella. That's a wonderful pass over the top. One of the best ways to feed the post is from the top, because it sort of takes away help side defenders.
Silva, the junior forward from Libreville, Gabon, in West Central Africa. Capital city right near the equator. And he leads this team in scoring and rebounding. Almost 14 points per game for Silva. He's got 8 points tonight. Minaya the pull-up. Kotsar got tangled up there with Donnell.
Boy, quick whistle right there. Well, you got a Clemson team with a lot of veterans. You got Shelton Mitchell, Marquise Reed, 2 redshirt juniors. DeVoe's a senior. And then watch Mark Donnell right here. Surprised they didn't go to the monitor to review that.
Tigers by 7. Gamecocks with the basketball. The runner off the glass. And Corey Holden has the basket for the Gamecocks.
You're looking at a kid that in 2 years at Delaware, Holden scored over nearly 900 points, 17 points a game.
A junior from Salisbury, Maryland. Gravitt has picked up his second personal foul. New Year's Day, we'll have the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. Number 3, Georgia. Number 2, Oklahoma kick it off in the Rose Bowl, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. And then it's number 4, Alabama against Dabo Swinney, and number 1, Clemson, the All-State Sugar Bowl from the Superdome in New Orleans. And Coach Swinney in attendance tonight to watch this rivalry game. What a season his team had. Only one loss all year, and that came at the Carrier Dome against the Syracuse Orange. They defeated the South Carolina football program in their final regular season game. Fourth straight win against the Gamecocks.
Your alma mater in there.
Well, it was the only loss for the Tigers, who also lost one game last year, but went on to a national title. So they'll play in the college football playoff semifinals. What a lineup on New Year's Day, as that one is tapped out of bounds by Skara into the front row.
We are right by the South Carolina bench at the end of the table here. And Coach Martin keeps walking in front. You think he'd mind if I say, hey, Frank, I can't see?
Visibility issues. See, we're right here.
We're right there.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going there.
Got a close win on December 9th. We told you about that win against Coastal Carolina. They shot 45% from the floor as a team. They are struggling here in the first half, but only trailing by 5. Shot clock is at 8, and that one will drop. 6-0 run for South Carolina. Corey Holden with the basket.
Well, that's one of the things he could do. He could score the basketball. So South Carolina scoring inside. Once it was Silva. The other one off the dribble drive pull up.
Holden's already above his season average. Easy rebound for Silva. Knocked away. He dives after the ball. 3, now 4 players, 5 involved. Tied up between the Tigers and Gamecocks.
I'll tell you, this South Carolina team, you see Reed reaching, you see Silva first to the floor. Really good hustle play. Frank's upset with Silva on the pass, not for the on the first to the floor loose ball.
So the arrow favored the Tigers, and they'll keep possession.
You know what I love about Frank Martin? When guys come to the bench, they don't say a word. We used to say, big eyes, big ears, small mouth. Listen to me, look at me, keep your mouth closed. A lot of guys always want to reply like they got something to say.
How about 26 wins last year, a school record, after they won 25 games in 2016.
And did that tie the record, or that was again?
That tied the existing record.
Right.
Then they set it last year with the 26 wins, all the way to the Final Four, before losing in the national semifinal to Gonzaga, 77-73. Thomas with the jam.
A fortuitous bounce for the Tigers. Boy, look inside. Kotsar and Thomas doing battle on the interior. I love when Thomas fronts the post, because you have no entry pass in there.
Myers in traffic. Tigers collapsing defensively, but Mike Eads has called a personal foul against Clemson.
Well, sometimes it's good to be a little lucky. Loose ball, clean pickup. That's where you got to take it, right to the rim.
A rim bender for Elijah Thomas, the junior from Dallas, Texas. Now, that last foul was assessed to Dante Grantham, who now has 2, with Myers at the line for the Gamecocks. And I think Grantham's going to have to come out, Coach, and give way to Sims.
Well, we were talking before about what a veteran team Clemson is. 2 redshirt juniors in the guards, Mitchell and Reed. Gabe DeVoe, a senior, Grantham, a senior. And then you have Elijah Thomas, the transfer, a junior also.
5 points and 2 rebounds for Grantham, who has exited this game.
Tom, we have 5 transfers on this Clemson team, 3 of which, Mitchell, Reed, and Thomas, all that start. Two 3 zone by South Carolina.
Tigers are working on a 5-game winning streak. Mitchell, not bashful, does not get the kind bounce. Kotsar, strong to the basket.
What a nice move. I didn't know he had that in his offensive repertoire, and he took it to the other side of the rim and used the rim as a protector.
It almost appeared like he was waiting for the Tigers' defensive effort that never came, and he was able to hit the reverse layup. Mike Kotsar. Sophomore from Estonia. Mitchell has to back it out. We're approaching 7 minutes to go in the first half. Shot clock at 3. Step back, 4-3. DeVoe got it. Off of that miss by Reed. Play along the baseline. South Carolina basketball. Clemson with a 2-point lead. Gamecocks are on a 9-2 run, Coach. Clemson just one made field goal in the last 5 minutes.
And a big reason why South Carolina went 2-3 zone, and they're really moving well in the zone. So we freeze it right there, fellas. Watch Kotsar, the big guy, come out right here and guard the basketball when it's out here. Now, it's not a great job, but what it does, it buys time for his help defenders to get in there. Really good movement out of the zone by South Carolina. What Clemson has to be careful of is when they see zone, they don't just settle for jump shots.
Chance for the Gamecocks to tie or go ahead as they go to Silva. Stripped away in the paint.
And I like what Coach Martin does. Right out of the timeout, twice now he's gone inside to Chris Silva.
Marquise Reed. He carried the basketball, so a turnover by the Tigers.
You have to make sure that when you're in zone, that it's a zone, but you have the ball, you have it one-on-one. That's your guy.
6th turnover of the first half for Clemson. Hasse tries the backdoor cut, trying to collaborate with Booker off his fingertips and out of bounds. Felipe Hasse, the freshman from Chile, and Booker also coming out.
And we talked about it, the shoot-around today. One of the things I asked Frank, what do you have to do to win on the road? He goes, without question, it's our turnovers. Now, that wasn't a bad turnover, and what I mean by that, it wasn't live ball where Clemson ran out. But if you want to win on the road in the ACC, you can't have a 4 or 5 minute lull. Take care of the ball if you're the Gamecocks.
Shot clock is down to 8. Thomas triple teamed. Sims. Hasse the rebound. Gamecocks are 2-0 away from Columbia, South Carolina. Driving and scoring, Myers.
He's fortunate because he had Silva wide open on the block.
How about the Gamecocks, Coach? They started 3 of 15 from the floor. They have made their last 4 shots.
And their offense has been created off of their defense. They're getting stops right now.
It's a 3-point attempt, and it's good. Marquise Reed.
While the transfer from Robert Morris can really score the ball, sometimes his shot selection comes into question, but Brad Brownell lets him play without looking over his shoulder.
How about that shot by Myers? Over the top of the Tiger defense. And now we go inside of 5 minutes in the first half. Reed, by the way, for this Tiger offense, 14.5 points per game. Beatty's going to pick up the foul as he was defending. First on Beatty, freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Donnell is back in for the Tigers as Thomas goes to the bench. He has 1 field goal to his credit.
Marquise Reed, when he was at Robert Morris, led them to the NCAA tournament as a freshman, scored over 500 points as a freshman. Can really score the ball. Against Florida, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists for this kid.
Was 6 of 8 from the floor against Florida, 85% from the line.
And you know what? This is the new rebuild in college basketball. You're going to recruit high school kids, maybe junior college, and you're going to try to pick up as many transfers as you can. And you're seeing both of these teams doing that right now. I'll tell you, Tom, when I was at Wake Forest in 9 years, we never had one transfer. But you know what? If I'm coaching now, man, I'm trying to get as many as I can get. A Clemson team with 3 transfers starting for them.
Minaya. Mitchell grabs it and brings it up for the Tigers. 4:20 to go in the first half. Tom Wormy, Dino Gaudio, and our outstanding ESPN college basketball crew with you from Littlejohn Coliseum. In a congested area, knocked away and stolen back by South Carolina. Myers behind the line. Reed came in for the board.
I'll tell you, Frank Martin's happy with that 3 in transition. Wide open off a dribble penetration. Good shot for the Gamecocks.
Gamecocks 0 for 5, though, from 3-point distance in this first half. Reed. Shot clock to 3. Almost an impossible shot. And a shot clock violation on the attempt by Sims. Tigers with a slim lead. Tigers with the lead, 24-21.
Tom, you have to make sure that you don't give guys the ball in a position of weakness. And what I mean by that is Amir Sims isn't a guy with a short clock that could create for himself. That's why Marquise Reed has to have that ball in his hand 5 seconds or under, because he or Mitchell can create. Sims is not a guy that could create.
They gave that last foul to Justin Minaya, although the officials are over at the scorer's table taking a look at it. South Carolina has never led in this game. We were tied 19 all. It's our only tie of the first half. So we'll step aside for just a moment and come right back. Clemson leads South Carolina 24-21, 3:19 to go in the first half. There is an ongoing review. A look at that last foul. They're checking for a potential elbow. So Mike Eads has come right over to us and said it is a flagrant 1. 2 shots and possession for the Tigers on that play, and the fouls against Minaya. So a flagrant 1 is assessed. Looking at that right elbow of Minaya, coach.
It's a good call. That's exactly why the rule was put in place. I really think he was just trying to use his arm as an arm bar. You know what I'm saying? But I think, Tom, it was so high that when it hit him in that neck area, they were pretty concise on the call. But I really think he's not as secure as he needs to be with the ball. So he got his arm out there. Sort of a little stiff arm, if you will, in football. Frank Martin loves Josh Minaya. He says this guy is going to be a great player, a great player for us. So there we have flagrant 1. Excessive or unnecessary. I think they're thinking excessive right there.
Not in the extreme category of flagrant 2. So a couple of free throws in the ball for the Tigers. Just over 3 minutes to go in the first half. So glad that you're with us. Scara steps for the 3 and misses.
He hit 1 3 early in this game, but that's not his strength. He's a dribble drive guy and a defender.
Yeah, his first points of the season, just his second game eligible in the Tiger uniform. As he's stepping on the sideline during the shot attempt.
Coach Martin's about to lose his mind.
7 turnovers in the first half. That'll do it.
And that's one of the big things. They're averaging over 15 a game. The good fortune in that turnover, like the prior one, Tom, it's not a free ball, a pick 6 turnover where Clemson's running out. Those things drive you nuts.
Yeah, how much different is this game from last year's? Just one tie as DeVoe drives and beats 2 and 3 defenders to the rack. 6-0 Tiger run, up 28-21. Last year's game had 12 ties and 17 lead changes. Skara wrestles it away.
And Clemson doing a better job of getting the 50-50 balls in this one in the first half thus far.
Pass wide of the intended target, Donnell, and turnover number 9 in the first half for Clemson. Friday, another star-studded NBA doubleheader to tip off your weekend. 8 p.m. Eastern, DeAndre Jordan, the Clippers in H-Town to take on James Harden, Chris Paul, the streaking Rockets, who've won 14 straight. Then we'll take you to the Oracle for Lonzo and the Lakers squaring off against KD and the Warriors. They've won 9 in a row themselves on the heels of the Rockets in the West. Coverage tips with the NBA Countdown at 7:30 on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Everybody was wondering when CP went, would that thing work? I'll tell you, since he's been playing, 14-0. He has been terrific. And that other guy, Harden's been doing pretty well also.
Well, last night in L.A., the retirement of Kobe Bryant's numbers, plural.
You exactly right, 8 and 24.
Donnell picked up the foul. Booker born in Iceland, Reykjavik. How about that? That's your hoop scoop. Now they list him as a graduate student from Augusta, Georgia. But he's had a bit of a circuitous route, Coach. Florida Atlantic and Oklahoma. Stops at those 2 institutions as well.
I mean, you have guys now playing at not 2 schools, 3 different schools.
He had 19 points to lead the team and a season high in that victory 10 days ago against Coastal Carolina by just 2.
And they needed every one of them.
That game was a little more exciting than Coach Martin wanted that one to be.
We're seeing one of the challenges for South Carolina. Like, they have a difficult time of guarding the basketball one-on-one off the dribble. And Frank said all preseason it wasn't a problem because he said during preseason his guards weren't driving the ball. They're just their makeup offensively. So they got exposed a little bit in some of their early games. So they've concentrated more on one-on-one defense. And outside of that play right there, they've done better.
You see the players that they are without this year, including Sindarius Thornwell, the player of the year in the SEC a season ago, and leading that team to the Final Four.
With the Clippers, of course, P.J. Dozier, a 2-way contract with Oklahoma City.
How about the drive and the bucket? Corey Holden. He's been impressive taking it to the rim in the first half, Coach.
He really has. He really has. A scoring mentality. In 2 years at Delaware, almost 900 points.
6 points and 3 of 4 from the floor for Holden. Mitchell trying to get away from the Holden defending. Shot clock's at 10 and we're inside of a minute to play in the first half. DeVoe baseline. Donnell, tough pass to catch. Might have got clipped in the face as he goes back up the court. DeVoe, the interception, stepping in the passing lane.
Yeah, we saw that. We had a perfect angle for that. Ill-advised. 11-second differential, game clock, shot clock.
Mitchell on the dribble for the Tigers, who have led most of the way in the first half. Just 1 tie as he gets fouled on the drive.
I tell you, the Clemson guards just put so much foul pressure on you. A, they can shoot it. When you close out on them hard, they could take the ball to the basket. A really talented duo in the backcourt with Mitchell and Reed.
Silva picked up his first personal foul to put Shelton Mitchell at the free throw line. Before he gets there, we've got an official's timeout. 29-25, 21.3 seconds to go, and Coach Martin will share his impressions of the first half with his team as he often does.
And I think he's going to have those same sentiments with those guys in the locker room. He's not happy right now.
The ACC-SEC matchups continue right behind us. It's Georgia Tech and Georgia next on ESPN2.
Well, we're looking at Ben Lammers on the left, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and Yonte Mayton, first team All-SEC last year, getting almost 19 points a game. Two of the better big guys in the nation.
Georgia won the matchup in Atlanta a season ago between those two rivals, both on the basketball court and the football field. Georgia part of the college football playoff. That all happens New Year's Day with those college football playoff semifinals. Silva picked up his first personal late here in the first half.
Every time it gets close,
79% from the line for Mitchell on the season. And now he's 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 points. Can add to the total.
So now South Carolina wants to take this shot with maybe 6 or 5 on the clock. So if they miss it, they have an opportunity for a second chance, a putback or kick out for another 3. Let's see how they handle this time and score situation, down 6.
37% from the floor in the first half for Coach Martin's team. 15 seconds to go in the first half. And trailing by 6. Whistle underneath.
Don't all.
Second foul on Donnell. Just 6 on the team for the Tigers, so no shots in this situation.
Let's see if they go inside to Silva here.
Silva, the leading scorer for the Gamecocks with 8. He's got the basketball, gets rid of it quickly. Game clock is at 5. Beatty on the drive. Foul on the drive by Beatty with 1.4 seconds left on the first half clock.
A little bit of a late whistle from James Breeding right here.
Foul on Donnell, his third. Again, it was Beatty on the drive.
Very late whistle, and I really think he was set. He's outside the restricted area arc, and everything this year is about the cylinder. Are you in your own space? I really think he was.
For Beatty, his first miss from the free throw line this season. He had been 4 for 4 prior to that attempt, and the crowd here at Littlejohn Coliseum letting the officials know how they feel about that most recent call with 1.4 seconds to go.
Timeout, Clemson.
So the lead now 5. Tigers have led by as many as 9 in this first half. And the Gamecocks unable to cash in from beyond 20 feet, 9 inches away, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clemson's defense on the perimeter has been outstanding. I think they've done a great job. And we talked about one of the South Carolina Achilles, if you will, is their guard play. And when you lose Sindarius Thornwell, Dwayne Otis, and P.J. Dozier, you're going to have some growing pains. And that's what South Carolina is having right now.
Coach Martin's team, 34% from beyond the arc for the season. And that's 10th in the SEC in the early going for 2017-18. What a setting for college basketball. Second year after the refurbishment of this building. It is tremendous.
And I love what Frank Martin's doing right here. He's putting Silva, a big guy, on the ball to pressure the passer. Can't let guys window shop.
Baseball pass from Grantham. Kotsar intercepts it. He got it away, but it's off the mark. Tigers have not lost with the lead this season. They're 7-0, and they lead it by 5 as we go to the studio. You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Zales. The Tigers with a 5-point halftime lead. Second lowest output in the first half of the season for South Carolina, although Silva did have 8 to lead the way, Coach.
They can't forget about this guy because he is a force inside. Watch how hard and high he pushes Donnell up the lane. If you're going to front the post, you got to roll behind right there. South Carolina needs to keep going inside to Chris Silva. And then this guy right here, the crossover, creates the space, and he is a wonderful pick-and-roll point guard. Terrific read, the pull-up. Those two guys are leading their respective teams. South Carolina keep going inside to the big fella.
Gamecocks yet to make a three-point basket. Tigers 3 of 9 from beyond the arc. 14 points off of that Gamecock bench as well as we crank up the second half. Tom Wormy, Dino Gaudio, and our outstanding ESPN2 college basketball production crew. Silva tries to sidestep the defender. It was Grantham. Thomas grabbed the rebound.
Well, you knew Frank Martin was going to go right to him to start the second half. It's just a matter of what play he would run.
Three-pointer from DeVoe, front rim. Kotsar had it for a moment. If that's Grantham, and it is, that's going to be his third.
Yeah, you don't want to foul 90 feet away from the basket. And it looks like Brad Brownell's going to take him out right here.
So that quickly, Dante Grantham leaves the ball game. He's got 5 points in the game. He's 2 of 4 from the floor, but a quick foul in the first minute of the second half, and he's on the bench for the Tigers.
Well, when you have good guard play like Clemson does, you can weather the storm with Mitchell and Reed out there.
Booker came up short. Second effort, knocked away. Tigers on the run with Reed. Silva hustled back to try to get into the play. Booker there also, and a foul is called.
Reed is just so explosive in the open court. Again, another scrum, loose ball, the kick out to Reed. I love giving him the ball because he's a guy that can finish in traffic, draws the fouls at the free throw line for 2. Just an aggressive mentality out of Marquise Reed.
He's already 4 of 5 from the free throw line.
In the big win against Florida, Tom, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists.
You talked about resume builders prior to this game and how this might affect the future for these teams. That's going to be big on the resume for the Clemson Tigers that win against Florida.
No question, because Florida's one of the better teams, as we know, in the SEC. Struggled a little bit the latter few games. But Michael White has a team there that's going to contend for a championship in this conference.
Silva back to get it on the deflection. He'll try to do it himself all the way. Maybe lost the handle on the way up, and DeVoe has it. Tigers shot 51% as a team from the floor in the win against Florida on Saturday. They're 9-1 on the season. Their only loss November 19th. And that was against Temple in the finals of the Charleston Classic, 67-60. Mitchell. Silva rips it down. Grab at the entry. Kotsar had to kick it back out to Minaya. That's for 3. Another miss from long distance.
But that's a great play because you went inside out. And then South Carolina basketball, second shot opportunity, fresh shot clock.
0 for 7 from three-point real estate tonight for the Gamecocks.
Look in. No easy entry passes into the post.
Shot clock is at 5. Grab it. Kotsar. Mid-range. Silva tipped it back to Kotsar. Knocked away by Reed. 2-on-1. Reed, circus attempt, and he was fouled as Booker was getting back to defend.
Minaya is going to be a terrific player, but boy, a little more urgency on this right here. In transition, I love the Euro step because what it does, it creates space for you. Tough shot right there for him to finish. But boy, trying to slow down these Clemson guards in the open court.
So Booker in foul trouble for South Carolina with a couple of quick ones. In the second half, he's got 4, Coach.
The kid Minaya, a talented young guy. But when you have a young team, they're still learning. It's not making the great plays. It's eliminating the bad ones. Like that turnover right there in the open court.
Minaya is yet to score. Neither team with a field goal this half. 0 for 8 between the teams in field goal attempts. Last year it was a win for the Tigers on the road in Columbia, 62-60. Grab it. That one towards the corner. Silva tries to save it. Goes out of bounds. It is off of South Carolina, according to Mike Eads, but there will be a discussion with Ron Groover. The call has been overturned.
And that's the calmest I've seen the South Carolina bench. The play was right in front of them. Now they're going to go to the monitor to check the clock.
Mike Eads, James Breeding, Ron Groover, our
and we
officials.
got 6 time on the shot clock right here.
Beatty the inbounds. Grab it. Long distance 3. And Silva tried to bat that one away, but may have committed the foul.
When you're being boxed, you either got to roll off of him, spin, or fake one way, go the other. You just can't jump on top of his back like Silva did right there. A lot of fouls in this game right now.
Second on Silva,
who led the nation in personal fouls last year with 141. Much, much better this year, both him and Kotsar.
He's got 2 in the game as we play in the second half. Thomas did everything but score that bucket.
We've seen both big guys drive the ball from the top, Silva and Thomas, neither able to finish at the rim.
Elijah Thomas on the defensive end. Reed lost it on the way up, deflected out of bounds, and back to South Carolina. Erratic play between the teams.
Well, really good block right here. And Tom, one of the things in transition defense, before the ball even leaves the shooter's hands, those other guards have to convert to the midcourt line, start to get back on the lift of the shot. Not when it leaves his hands, but before it even leaves his hands, start converting to defense.
Elijah Thomas, a player who averages almost 2 blocks per game to lead the way for the Tigers.
Brad Brownell, known as a defensive coach, I think last year they got away from that a little bit. Much better defensively, despite the layup right there out of this Clemson Tiger team.
Kotsar with the layup. First made field goal from either team this half. Kotsar, a player who averages almost 10 points per game. Mitchell. Back to Thomas. Hops into the paint. Kotsar the rebound and a quick pass. Holden. Hesitation. Reed was able to help out defensively.
Really good again, transition defense.
Ball goes out of bounds. When we come back, Dabo Swinney, the Tigers football coach, will join us. Back inside Littlejohn Coliseum, the Tigers, who've led most of the way with a 33-28 lead in the second half. Right now, a very special guest joining us here courtside. Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, getting ready to go back into the college football playoff. Coach, how excited are you to try to get back to that title game for the 3rd straight year?
Hey, we're 4 quarters away, man. I'm pumped. You know, we're right in the middle of our preparation. We're going to go through Friday and then take a little break, but head down to New Orleans on the 27th. But it's exciting. I mean, this is what you work all year for, to have an opportunity to compete at the highest level. And, you know, to make the playoff for the 3rd year in a row is a great accomplishment, but nobody's satisfied. You know, we want to get back and have a chance to play for it all again. And it comes down to us in Alabama one more time. Nice little pass right there.
No question. Nice little backdoor cut.
Yeah.
Coach, what did you glean from the tape last year against Alabama? What could you pull from that game tape?
Well, it really is the same thing as the year before. I mean, first of all, you know, you've got to win matchups at every position when you play Alabama, and you got to be great on 3rd down. But the 2 years that we've played, it truly comes down in a game like this to just a few plays. The first year we didn't make them. Last year we made them, and the margin for error is so small. But you know, at the end of the day, too, just keep playing and handle the adversity. We're down 14-0, hung in there. continue to believe and just play the next play and found a way to win it in the fourth quarter. And that's what you got to do against these guys. They're very seldom out of position. Coach, so you got to make those competitive plays.
We're going to take a timeout. Stay with us. We'll come right back with more Dabo. Right into this. South Carolina with the Tigers in front of their rival, the Gamecocks, making the trip to Littlejohn Coliseum. A very special guest has joined us, Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the football team. Looking forward to the college football playoff. Dino Gaudio, Tom Wormy. Dino, you got another coach question, don't you?
Coach, talk about the development of Kelly Bryant after losing Watson last year. How important has he been?
Oh, man. I mean, we're not where we are without Kelly. You know, he's just answered every test all year long, and you know, he's just gotten better and better. He's become so much more of a complete player, and the biggest thing is now he has a confidence that you have to have to win big games at that position.
And you have a big game tomorrow night too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got a little basketball game. Me and Coach V, you know, we're actually assistant coaches on our son's basketball team, so we're going to travel to Westminster tomorrow night, have our opening game. So trying to glean a few little tidbits tonight.
If your guys can make shots like Marquise Reed did right there, you'll be fine. Last thing, Coach, what about the camaraderie at Clemson? Like, you're at a lot of basketball games. You're supporting Brad. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's one of the things that makes this place, I think, really special. People talk a lot about family, but the Clemson family is a very real thing. And it's not just our fan base, but it's our administration. I mean, there's a great alignment here from a board, president, administration, our coaches. Everyone supports each other. Man, I really think the world of Brad Brownell, and they're off to a great start this year. But I love basketball and love to support these guys every way I can.
And Coach Martin gave him a great compliment. He said at the shoot-around today, Frank Martin said, this Clemson team reminds me of my team last year, and that's high praise indeed.
That is high praise. I think they got a lot of pieces this year that complement each other, and they seem, you know, from my perspective outside looking in, they seem like they have a really good chemistry. They all kind of understand their role, and they all bring value, and then we got good guard play. I mean, those two guards we got, I think, give us a chance every time we take the court, and then we got a good mixture of big guys. And I'll tell you, I hadn't seen that big Scar guy play yet. This is the first time I've seen him play.
A lot of people hadn't seen him play.
Man, that kid is a defender.
This is his second game.
I mean, he's a defensive presence, so I'm excited about him.
I'll tell you what, he keeps talking basketball, and neither of us will have a job pretty soon.
You know, I told him, I said, you know, if the football coaching thing doesn't work out, you can always be an analyst. But just quickly back to football, Coach. How have you been able to take this program to these heights? Third straight year potentially in the title game, trying to defend your championship. You've already played Alabama once, a couple of years ago in that title game. You got them last year. You got to play them again in the semifinals. It is an amazing scene here in Clemson, South Carolina, and what you and your staff have done.
Well, first of all, good Lord just giving me good vision and direction and trying to make good decisions to lead the program. But more importantly, a great group of young people buying into the philosophy and the common purpose that we're all trying to achieve. And then our staff. I've been so blessed to have a great staff support me, and just a daily focus and just trying to strive to get better day in and day out, year in and year out, and become a consistent program. And so it's been a lot of fun, and we've won 61 games in 5 years.
Amazing.
But I tell people all the time, the best is yet to come. And I really, truly believe that with all my heart.
It's incredible. Just for clarification's sake, a flagrant one was called on Silva for South Carolina. And so Thomas is at the free throw line right now. We're talking to Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, on his way to the college football playoff. Here's the look at the flagrant one against Silva.
Pulled his shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now
that's what we used to do in rec ball right there, man. Grab, you know, that's our noon ball move right there.
Exactly. That's the NBA move.
Guys got the breakaway, just you know, pull their shirt.
Coach, we would say the NBA move. Noontime Basketball Association.
Noontime NTBA.
Yes.
Or the No Talent Basketball Association, whichever one you want.
By the way, Coach, it also helps to have incredible football facilities, too. You've got a brand new one.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be able to call your game against the Citadel this year, and we got a tour from Tim Beret of your facility, and it's amazing.
Did you go down the slide?
all the other broadcast partners went down the slide, and they told me to get the bags and bring them down to the first level. So I couldn't go down the slide.
Oh, man, yeah, it's great. And I tell you what, this is a great facility. This new facility we've built has really helped Brad in his recruiting and given us a legitimate basketball operation. So I'm really excited. Our baseball facility is new. We got soccer coming on board. There's just a lot of great, getting ready to add softball. It's a lot of great facility improvements going on here at Clemson, not to mention on campus.
Absolutely. Great academic school, a lot to recruit to. Facilities, everything nowadays, and top of the line right here at Clemson.
Tigers with a 40-32 lead. We're joined by Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers. They'll take on Alabama in the college football semifinals. That's on New Year's Day. And, Coach, can we have you read this promo about your game? Go ahead, give it a run.
New Year's Day, we'll have the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. Number 3 Georgia and number 2 Oklahoma kick things off in the Rose Bowl game at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific from Pasadena. Then it's number 4 Alabama and number 1 Clemson in the All-State Sugar Bowl for the trifecta from the Superdome in New Orleans. Both games are also streaming live on the ESPN app if you just don't have a TV somewhere.
Coach, we thank you so much for stopping by and reading the promo. We'll send you a couple extra dollars in the paycheck for reading that promo. Thank you. Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, on his way to the college football semifinal. Largest lead of the game for the Tigers after that jumper. And again, we thank Dabo Swinney for stopping by. Enjoy the game, Coach. Thank you. 43-32 at Littlejohn.
Terrific penetration by Sims, collapsed the defense. The kick out for the open shot.
Timeout on the court, and the largest lead of the night for the Tigers. Point lead for the Tigers, 5 of 17 from three-point distance for Clemson.
Tom, nothing hurts your defense more than dribble penetration. And when the ball gets to the corner and there's a baseline drive, look what it does to the defense. These defenders here all having to help, and then we're going to see it kicked out to the three-point shooter right on the line here. Terrific offense. Nobody's near him because the dribble drive broke the defense down.
Reed is 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, and 15 points. He leads all scorers. Silva is in the double figures for South Carolina with 10. Hasse comes up short. Mitchell grabs it. Grab it defending. Wincing a little bit, maybe favoring that right leg. Approaching 11 minutes to go in the second half. Grantham spinning. Grab it, quick hands. Grantham takes it right back. Shot clock down to 4. DeVoe.
Wow,
Donnell.
great hustle.
And a third attempt on this possession now for the Tigers. DeVoe can't get around Mania.
Really good ball screen defense by South Carolina. Shot clock at 7.
Mitchell. Kotsar came over to help out and made the play defensively as two bodies spill on the floor. Grab it, loses the handle. DeVoe grabs it.
Turnover's been a big problem for the Gamecocks.
Grantham, second effort. How about a third time? Can't get it to go. And Donnell commits the foul as he tried to pull that away from Hasse.
Frank Martin has built this South Carolina program on toughness. That's what he is. That's what they're about. His teams always take on his personality. Right now, Clemson out-toughing them on the backboard.
Just 21% shooting this half for South Carolina.
Usually, Tom, South Carolina creates a lot of their offense off of their defense by being in passing lanes, getting steals off of entry passes where they convert from defense to offense. Really haven't seen a lot of that in this game.
They've only gone to the free throw line 10 times. They went 31 times in the win on December 9th in their most recent game against Coastal Carolina. And made 22 of them. Silva, tough to stop. Thomas trying to hold his ground. Out of bounds, Gamecock basketball.
Well, I love the move, and here's why. Because he gets all the way into the middle of the lane. Nothing's more important on post play than getting deep in the lane. He did on that possession. Problem was, Tom, he has to let the ball go at like 12 o'clock, a little higher.
Up ahead is Mitchell.
Open court turnovers will kill you against an athletic team like Clemson. Boy, big problem right there for South Carolina.
There is a Gamecock player behind the play in some discomfort.
Looks like Holden.
Corey Holden is number 1.
Oh, it's Beatty.
I think you're right, Coach.
No,
yes, it is.
No,
it is Holden. It is Holden.
Looks like it might be. Looks like he's grabbing the back of his leg.
Being helped to that South Carolina bench area. Let's look at what happened to Holden. Kind of an awkward move.
Yeah, I mean, no contact at all. They called the walk on the play, which is the right call.
So Holden getting some medical attention at the end of that South Carolina bench. 45-32.
And you're seeing South Carolina for the first time extend their defense. Picking up 94 feet. Straight man-to-man, but still getting into the ball a little further up the floor.
The lead was 5 at halftime for the Tigers. Shot clock down to 10 for Reed. Trying to connect with Thomas, and it ends up in the front row.
Good point guards, Tom. Don't make their minds up ahead of time. They let the game dictate to them what should be done. He had already made his mind up that when he got down and he was going to make the pass. When in fact he should have shot it. Do what the game tells you to do.
Myers. No points for the Gamecocks in over 3 minutes. In traffic off the glass, Beatty. Would not be denied, Coach.
And he was terrific in the shoot around. He gave a lot of effort. Frank said he's been terrific this week in practice.
DeVoe for 3.
I'm telling you, this Clemson basketball team is really talented. It starts with their guards. The difference between this Clemson teams and Brad Brownell's teams in the past is guard play.
DeVoe with his first made 3 of the game on 4 attempts. He's into double figures. One of 3 Tigers to get there. Silva trying to create some space, and he'll get a soft roll.
That's what he is. He has toughness inside, could finish off of either shoulder. Pretty good job all game long by Thomas on Silva, but I like the play from the big fella right there.
12 points for Silva, leading scorer for the Gamecocks. Reed aggressively to the rim, and he got fouled. Foul against the Gamecocks. When we come back, Reed will be at the free throw line. Corey Holden going back to the dressing room for the Gamecocks. Tigers in front, 48-36, 7:45 to go in our second half. Reed at the free throw line for Clemson.
Tom, they're just struggling right now, South Carolina, to guard the basketball one-on-one. This is a team game. It's a team game, but it's played by individuals. You have to take pride in your individual matchup. I mean, that's just a complete blow-by right there on defense. We talked after we would break film down on games after games. We would assign points to every player on the team. Like if it was ball screen action, maybe it was 1 point to Jeff Teague and 1 point to James Johnson. But maybe on that play right there, if he makes both, it's 2 points for Minaya. But we were accountable for every point that we allowed on the defensive end of the floor.
17 points now for Marquise Reed, following up on his performance against Florida on Saturday where he scored 22, a team high and season high for Reed in the winning effort. Shot clock is inside of 10 for the Gamecocks. Reed goes up and pulls down the rebound.
And that's the right play. They showed on the ball screen hard. You throw it back to the jump shooter. Hassa just needs to make that shot.
0 of 11 from three-point distance in the game for South Carolina. Mitchell put on the brakes and the ball will go back to the Gamecocks. Clemson is 6 of 18 from long distance for Brad Brownell. The worst three-point shooting performance of the season for South Carolina came against UMass. They went 3 of 15 from the floor from long distance. They have not connected on a three tonight.
And I think they've had some good looks.
Also beat UMass in that game. Rabbit.
There you go. That's a great look. It's the dribble drive, breaks down the defense. It's the exact play we saw Clemson run a few moments ago. The drive baseline, the kick out for the open three.
And Gravitt is a guy who does not make threes in high volume, just his 10th of the season. It's a traveling violation as Elijah Thomas tried to make his move on the block.
You're seeing why coaches say it's so important for big guys to have good hands, because if they don't catch it clean, it's tough to finish inside. Big guys need room and space to operate inside. To do that, you got to have a clean catch on the basketball when it's coming to you.
The difference is 11, 6:20 to go in regulation. South Carolina unable to find a rhythm tonight, Coach.
Boy, they had him inside in the post.
Rabbit off the Hasse screen. Looking for another three. Reed the rebound.
Really good contest on the jump shots. The most important thing you could do on defense, I don't care, Tom, whether it's 2-3 zone, man-to-man, is contest shots. Make guys miss, don't hope they miss.
Gravitt just picked up his third personal foul. You can see Gravitt running off. It looks like he's favoring that right leg just a little bit as he comes out of the game. An amazing run to the Final Four last year with Coach Frank Martin. Had to beat Marquette, Duke, Baylor, Florida. And then the road finally ended against Gonzaga. Reed dribbling to freedom and hitting a three with confidence. Marquise Reed. And that gives him 20 on the night. So 42 points in his last two games for Marquise Reed, the redshirt junior from Landover, Maryland.
Plays so well off ball screen action. You go underneath of it, he'll step back and shoot the three.
Reed in his combined career at Clemson and at Robert Morris is a 1,000-point scorer. And showing why tonight, leading the way for the Tigers. Kotsar strong to the rim and twisting for the layup.
Well, you're seeing the improvement in Matt Kotsar's game. He couldn't do that last year. Catch the ball 20 feet and take it to the basket. Great drive right there by the big fella.
Sophomore from Estonia, country on the Baltic Sea in Northern Europe. Also played some prep ball in Wichita, Kansas for Kotsar.
And he's a really good defender, too. He's the one that guarded Jason Tatum in that Duke game last year.
Grantham, Thomas let three defenders go on by. and he's bending that rim.
Well, you know what? I love his patience. He wasn't in a hurry. The shot fake lifted the defense. Pretty good move by the Texas A&M transfer.
14 points for Thomas. Hasse misses. Grantham the outlet to DeVoe. Does not have the numbers. Goes anyway and scores. Largest lead of the night for the Tigers. 57-41 and a timeout on the court.
We're looking at Casey Manning right there. Federal judge, Tom, in South Carolina. The first African-American basketball player in South Carolina on scholarship. And I'll tell you what, all the South Carolina games I've done, terrific guy, terrific gentleman. Does radio now for South Carolina. One of the good guys in our game, in our business.
Unfortunately, tonight he doesn't have a lot to talk about positively for the Gamecocks, who have struggled in this matchup, trailing 57-41 after losing by 2 last year to the Tigers. That one contested in Columbia, South Carolina. Gamecocks have the overall lead in this series, 90-77. Minaya blocked by Thomas.
You're seeing a young South Carolina team, a little rattled on the road.
Tigers have made their last 5 field goal attempts. Under 4 minutes now to go in regulation.
And really running the clock, trying to spread South Carolina out. And when you have guards like Mitchell and Reed, you could go with a short clock.
Down to 5. Reed turns around and hits.
Tough matchup for Kotsar on the switch. Really good offense.
Second straight game with 22 points for Marquise Reed. Deflected out of bounds. It's Gamecock basketball. Reed is 5 of 10 from the floor. He's got 4 3-pointers and 8 of 11 from the free throw line. Into the corner, Hasse.
Yeah, that's a wide open shot.
Bounce pass to DeVoe. Swooping in, lost the handle, tried to save it. And DeVoe ended up out of bounds.
Hasse's a guy that comes in shooting 37% from behind the three-point line. That's what he is. He's a stretch four.
Tigers hadn't missed the shot since the 10-minute mark of this half until that one was classified as a miss on the drive by DeVoe. 59-41 for Coach Brownell, coming off the 300th win of his career, that on Saturday against Florida. Also, the Tigers have not lost at home this year. They're 5-0.
The 3 guards, Reed, Mitchell, and DeVoe, 44 points combined for those 3.
3 players in double figures, as Coach mentioned. Just Silva has hit double figures for the Gamecocks. He's got 12, but does have 4 personal fouls. Myers past his defender DeVoe, and he hits the jumper.
I love the shot fake. The shot fake's the best fake you could utilize in the game because, as we saw, it makes the defense unathletic. They're extended, they're stretched. He left the floor at the right time there, and terrific read to the pull-up. Read the defense. Switching the ball screen. Now Mitchell has the advantage.
Deflected out of bounds by Minaya with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN app. We'll have the DXL Frisco Bowl between Louisiana Tech and SMU. Sonny Dykes takes over for the Mustangs. A couple of quality receivers. Dykes taking over for Chad Morris, who's on to Arkansas, the former Clemson offensive coordinator. Skip Holtz, the head coach of the Bulldogs. That's the DXL Frisco Bowl, Wednesday, 8 p.m. 59-43. One of the big recruiting names out there is Zion Williamson, coach, from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Well, both of these schools still in the fray for this kid's talents, and I think we're talking to one of the best big kids in America. Can handle it, take the ball off the backboard and go the length of the court. Protects the rim for you. You know what, Tom? We get a ton of analytics, of course. The 360 right there from ESPN.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what? In this business right here, I don't care whether it's business, college basketball, pro, it's about an accumulation of talent. Usually the team with the best players wins. When I was in the ACC, we would say the team with the most future pros is probably going to win this league. That guy's going to be a difference maker for one of those teams we just saw there.
Both the Tigers and the Gamecocks on the list for the young man. It's a three, and it's Marquise Reed. It's a new career high with that three, and 25 points for Reed. 5 made three-point buckets.
This team has NCAA tournament written all over it. The question for me is, do they have enough inside to maybe make a second weekend run? But their guards are just terrific.
Reed has tied his career high for made threes in a single ball game. 25 points to lead all scorers, 6 of 11 from the floor, and the 5 three-point baskets. Coach, you were talking about this Tiger team trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. Last year, they lost in the second round of the ACC tournament. Tonight, 10:30 Eastern, Sports Center with Bucci and Connors. An in-depth statistical look into tonight's matchup between the Cavs and Bucks. Plus the Lane train rolling. All access with FAU and head coach Lane Kiffin. And we look at what sparked the Sooners' historic run to the Rose Bowl just 13 days away from the college football playoff semifinals. Sports Center, 10:30 Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Hey, we got some insight into the Clemson side of things tonight as Dabo Sweeney joined us right here from our broadcast position. He gave us all the ins and outs of his semifinal game coming up against Alabama, but he also read the ESPN promo for the semifinals on New Year's Day. I mean, come on, he does it all.
I'm a little nervous because, you know, our producer said maybe he should read it. And what his salary is, it's a lot larger than you and I's.
Coach Sweeney in attendance tonight. Frequents the Tiger basketball games in support of this program. I mean, he was a complete ease and enjoyed himself in our conversation.
He really was, and he's got a basketball game himself tomorrow night. 17 and under, one of the assistant coaches.
His son and his nephew are part of the Clemson football team that's on its way to the college football semifinal on New Year's Day. Off the glass, the tip-in is good.
And that's what Thomas has to bring to this team. Low post scoring, rebounding. And when the opportunity presents itself, get on the offensive glass. Easiest shot in basketball, the second shot.
8 points for Thomas. Inside of a minute to go now. It's been all Tigers. They have led the entire distance with the exception of a tie at 19 all.
Brad Brownell has himself an outstanding basketball team. This is an NCAA tournament team, Tom.
Whistle stops play with 30.6 seconds to go.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zales. 'Tis the season to save and sparkle more than ever. And Land Rover, above and beyond.
Don't forget, coming up, second game of rivalry night as Georgia and Georgia Tech go head-to-head. That in Athens. Myers wants a three.
You know what? He never had the ball in his hands clean, so why shoot it?
Hasse gets a nice bounce with 11 seconds to go. Monster struggles from three-point distance, but the Tigers are too much tonight. 64-48. Brad Brownell and the Tigers beat their rival in South Carolina and Frank Martin. For Dino Gaudio, I'm Tom Wormy. Let's head to the studio.